Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 books that you can read on your own on your spare time so you can get some idea of the different refactorings you can use when refactoring legacy code. Here we are going to show some of the techniques in our course, right? But we are not going to cover all of the techniques because the project is constrained. The first book, which is Working Effectively with Legacy Code by Michael Feeders. This is really an amazing book that you can read in order to enrich your skills about all of the different techniques you can use when refactoring legacy code. Michael Feeders in this book present a lot of the problems and a lot of the ways on how to solve the issues. For example, if you have a singleton call object in your code, how you can switch it or how you can introduce a seam so you can test it easily. Like, there are a lot of techniques in this project. We are not going to cover all of the techniques because our project is constrained, right? But in this book, you are going to cover a lot of techniques. Like, this technique will help you in the next project when joining a company, for example, and especially if they don't have tests in their code, right? So it will be a legacy code for you because this is how Michael Feeders define legacy code, which is legacy code is code without tests. This is the definition of Michael Feeders. And it makes sense because we can't refactor unless we do have some kind of safety net, right? So the safety net is implemented via unit test. So once you do your refactoring, you can run your unit test to see if you break something or everything is going well. The next book is related to unit testing, since we are talking about unit testing, and I believe this book, everyone should read it, which is the following: Unit Testing, Principles, Practices, and Patterns by Vladimir Khorikov. Like, this is an important book on how to bring tests in the first place and how to create good and efficient tests for your project. It includes a lot of the techniques and practices you can use when bringing tests in your project. It is implemented, I think, in C#, but you can understand it easily. Finally, the one and the only, since you are talking about refactoring, which is actually Refactoring by Martin Fowler. Like, this is a classical book when dealing about refactoring. Here, he will teach you a lot of techniques that you can use when refactoring your code from good state to a better state, for example. He will tell you about some problems with some code and how to refactor it into good shape. So the structure will help you in the future, maybe to delete a feature, for example, or add a feature. So these books are my recommendation when doing refactoring, and especially refactoring a legacy code like that. As I told you, I'm not going to use all of the techniques presented in the book, but definitely these techniques helped me a lot when dealing with legacy code. So by the end of the course, we are going to implement some of the technique presented in this book in our case study. So with that in mind, let's start by writing our first unit test in the next video. So see you there. Assalamu alaikum.